Welcome to another Facebook Live. And I'm Evan Messman. I am the owner and founder and the chief gratitude manager from what I call Pro Attitudes. It's a health, wellness, and mindset coaching business. And today, we're going to be talking about attitude. What are 9 ways to improve your attitude? I'm sure that you all have ideas about how you can improve your attitude, but most likely what happens is we tend to start out the day really motivated, having a really positive attitude, and the research shows that as the day progresses, it wanes and wanes, and toward the end of the day, it's not so great. So what do we need to do to practice? Practice every day, day in, day out. It's the little things we do. Today I'm going to talk about 9 things that you could do that are going to help create a winning attitude. Again, it's not about motivation. Motivation's fickle. Don't depend on that attitude. It's the habits you have. It's the things that you do every day. So let's talk today about the first one. But before we get started, let me introduce myself if you guys don't know me. I am Evan Messman. I am the owner and founder of Pro Attitudes, and I started this business about a year ago, but I've had over 30 years experience working as a dietitian and a diabetes educator and also in private practice, and then had a experience working in corporate America. But what I've always been in search for is finding people's why. Why do they do the things they do? And I was my first customer. I started over 30, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, really figuring out, I was 40 years ago, figuring out what do I need to do? Because my nickname used to be Heavy Evy. So I figured it out myself. When I went to school, I wanted to really learn about, well, why? Why do we do the things that we do? And what impact does food have on our bodies? And today I'm going to share with you a little bit about that when it comes to attitude. So it all starts again, believing that you can change. Really one choice at a time, because what do I talk about all the time? With Pro Attitudes, I talk about your attitude muscle. We're going to exercise your attitude one action at a time. Right now, I want to find out who is actually on live, so do hashtag live, and for those of you watching in replay, please do hashtag replay. Send that out so that I know where you're at and how you're enjoying this. And make sure you hit it a couple of times so that you can send this out to more people. Okay, so if you want to learn more and you find this valuable at the end of this session, join me on a one-on-one. Listen, it's my pleasure. I love talking to people, and I want to help you figure out what may be your biggest challenges. So, are we ready to get started? Okay. What's number 1? You have to figure out what your why is, starting with a purpose. If you know what your why is, the what and how is really easy. I mean, Simon Sinek said it best, right? Start with why. I've always figured that out. To me, let's just figure out what it takes to act with a compelling vision. Where do you want to go? Why are you doing the things you do? I was on a network call recently, and somebody had their little child sit on their lap, and he holds him up and says, "Hey, this is my why." I want you to figure out your why. So what's number 2? Well, you need to stretch outside your comfort zone. Every day you have to do something that's just a little uncomfortable, whether it's making that extra phone call if you're in sales, or it's working out when you really didn't want to, or maybe pushing yourself to do a few more minutes, or maybe taking that extra time to get in the car and go shopping for food. Pushing yourself past your comfort zone is really important. Of course, right outside that comfort zone is your fear zone. You've got to push past that too. We'll talk about that later. So I want the third one for you to realize, this is really important. I want you to take action without expectations. What does that mean? Well, you can anticipate, but when you expect things, You're setting the bar at a certain level, and then if it doesn't hit that, you get disappointed. And if we can really change and take expectations and flip that and replace it with anticipation, which says, hey, I'm going to make a commitment to do something, but regardless of the outcome, it's the behavior that you're making the commitment to, then that makes all the difference in the world. Now let's get back to the list. We're up to 4. The fourth insight would be, how do you take setbacks and use them to learn something? So many people make errors, they make mistakes, they have failures, or as I like to call it, you're not failing, you're falling. Like Simon Sinek says, when you fall down, you get back up. What did you learn from falling? I think that's the most important thing. Take and learn from all these challenges, because everything in life is not what I do, what I teach, it's not a roadmap, it's a compass. And you're bound to make errors. Being an entrepreneur, I make errors in everything that I do, but I learn from each one. The same thing with your exercise, with your eating, with your work ethic, all the things that you do with your job, with your spouse, with your significant other, with your family. It's not about judging yourself. It's about looking at it and saying, what can I learn from this? Okay, that's 4. How about number 5? This is an important one. Surround yourself with people who cultivate your optimism, with positive people. When you think about the people that you hang out with, the people you work with, the people that you are on your teams, the people who you hang out with on the weekends or at night, when you go out for dinner or for a drink, who is it that you're actually interacting with? Are they negative or are they positive? It's really important to surround yourself with people. Why? That are positive, because of what we call the mirror neuron. When you're around people who are negative, they're going to bring you down. Likewise, if you come in with negativity, you're going to bring other people down. So part of the challenge is to change the neural pathways, is to focus on the positivity, focus on your optimism. Let go of the old negative ways and focus on thinking positively, affirming positive statements, and surrounding yourself with positive people. Now, the next one is not an easy one to do. I've learned how to do this recently. Learn how to laugh more, but laugh at yourself. Because if you're not laughing at yourself, I guarantee you're taking yourself too seriously. The people you're working with, they're laughing at you. So you might as well be in with it, because we're all human. We all make mistakes. And it's really important to let go of what we call those saboteurs, that Darth Vader that's sitting on your shoulder whispering lies in your ears. It's not about being perfect. It's not about always taking everything so seriously. How about forgiving yourself? Number 7 is forgiving yourself. So many people that I know of do not know how to forgive, whether it's somebody else, but most likely it's themselves. And that is usually based in the past. It's regret. Take that regret and turn it into an opportunity. Figure it out to say, what can I do differently going forward? You can't change the past. And you can't really focus on the future and worrying about it, because that worry just leads to anxiety. But you can focus on where you want to go. Look in the past and say, okay, that's what I learned. And then focus just what's right in front of you and say, hey, this is what I want to do. The next 3 steps are going to get me 3 steps closer to where I want to be. This is what I'm focused on, right? Focus is really important. What about gratitude? My program's called, I call it the B3 way, or become, be strong, be grateful. This whole component of gratitude is built into my program. Why? We don't say thank you enough without words. We say thank you plenty, but words are cheap sometimes. Sometimes actions speak a lot louder than words. So sending a thank you note, handwritten thank you note, or writing a letter to somebody that you care about, that you say, hey, this person went above and beyond, or I'm really grateful to have this person in my life, whether it's a mentor or a friend, or it could be a coworker. Sitting down and writing that letter and then calling them up and saying, I have this letter I wrote. I'd like to read it to you in person, or hey, on Zoom. I guarantee you it will create amazing things. It will build that relationship between the two of you. It'll make it even stronger, because a lot of times people just don't know. They don't know that they're appreciated. I remember I was driving up to Niagara Falls with my family and a friend, and I was sitting in the front seat I was driving, and my friend was sitting in the front seat, and she was telling me about how my father had been talking about how proud he was of me. He never really told me. That was the first time, and I was in my 20s at the time. That was the first time that I ever recalled my father, not directly, saying, hey, I'm proud of you. But I heard it through her mouth, through it, and I saw my father through a different lens. Maybe he just didn't have the ability to say it then, but then I knew it. What a difference it would have made if he had said it. Don't wait. Do it now. And the last one, be courageous. What is courage? The Navy SEALs were asked this question. People that go into battle, they're fearful. Fear is something that we can't eliminate. But the suffering of inaction, of being stuck, that's something we can face and we can change. Because what the Navy SEALs do, what they've reported on, is that they lean into the fear with courage. And that courage just means I'm still afraid, but I'm moving forward. They allow themselves to move forward, and it makes a huge difference. They also, when they're courageous, before they go into a campaign, they'll typically do square breathing to bring the stress level down. And does anybody here know what square breathing is? Put it in the chat and let me know. Square breathing, it's this I want you to practice. What I want you to do is take a deep breath in through the nose, hold it for 4, 3, 2, 1. Now exhale. Now hold it for 4 seconds. Now inhale. Hold. Exhale through the nose. Hold. Inhale. Now, what did we just do? We got you to stop your stress response. Why? Because deep breathing, because the diaphragm travels, the vagus nerve, which is a very important nerve, travels right through your diaphragm, and it's important to relay to the brain that we are relaxing. Because when you deep breathe, you're giving your body a physiological response to say, hey, it's okay to stop and relax. Because typically when we're stressed, we're short of breath, we're tense. So it's really important to be courageous, but then also think about just breathing while you're thinking about, what do I need to do to lean into the fear? Well, if you found this valuable, let me know and put some $ in the chat. I do this every Wednesday at 1 p.m. and I'm looking forward to you joining us next week. If anybody's interested in having a one-on-one with me, jump on my website at proattitudes.com. That's proattitudes, one word, .com. And you can see the link to schedule a complimentary one-on-one with me. I really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your busy day to join me during these Facebook Lives. And let me know also what you think about this or other topics that you're interested in. Okay, go make it a great day. Remember, everything begins with your attitude, one choice at a time.